Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Marge Simpson?
Come on, Bennett. You'd hook up with Marge Simpson?
Yeah. You ever see the ones with her hair, when she lets her hair down?
You're attracted to Marge Simpson.
Marge is cute.
Cute?
Legacy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I respect her.
Yeah.
But she ain't Jessica Rabbit.
No, she's not Jessica Rabbit. She's not Jessica Rabbit. No.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. We have another edition. This will be the third edition of the Debate Club. You guys are going to sell a shoe to Mr. Bennett Doyle, our producer over here.
Oh, yeah.
I saw these.
Go.
I've seen these.
I saw these on social media too.
It's the perfect house shoe.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, it's not even a house shoe. I bet you they're really comfortable. You heard of unisex. This is unifoot. Oh my God.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
G.G. Jackson, I don't know if you know this, CJ, youngest player in the NBA, does not turn 20 until December of this year. He was the 45th pick in last year's draft. He becomes the first teenager, I believe, to be named to an all-rookie team without having been a first-round pick. Shout out G.G. Jackson.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number one.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt, live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Live from downtown Memphis, this is the Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It is a Friday, June 14th, 2024 edition of the show. Today on the show, we may have the NBA Finals end this evening as the Dallas Mavericks are having their possible last stand against the Boston Celtics. We will get to that and get you ready for Game 4. In addition to that, the U.S. Open is continuing today. We will get to all the news and notes of the day and what is going to be going on this upcoming weekend. And we are now officially less than 2 weeks away from the NBA Draft taking place. We'll get to all that. It's a Friday. It is beautiful outside. Smile. Let's do it. Turn it up. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, got a ton of stuff to get to. Gary Parrish is going to be joining us in studio. Before I get to anything, I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandits in your sack, a.k.a. Johnny Backpole, Johnny Bearcat, a.k.a. John Asparagus, Johnny Neckcarb, John Lance. He is Yogi Roser.
What up?
Hello, John.
What up?
Devin Walker is out today. Gary Parrish from the Gary Parrish Show, which you can hear every morning from 10 to noon on Grind City Media and YouTube and all the different apps, is here. And I have a real bone to pick with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, before we even get going in today. What have you drugged me into?
Woo!
You're seeing it.
Yes.
I'm getting tagged.
Oh, yeah.
Because you promoted me on some show at some point.
I apologize. I shouldn't have done that.
So now I am getting tagged.
Mm-hmm.
There is a guy. Did you broach this on your show today?
No.
There is a guy who is relentlessly telling Gary, apologize. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm tagged in this as if I need to. What did I do?
Jessica Benson's taking a beating as well.
What did I do?
Grind City Media. I would actually ask the same question, like, what did I do? So you probably heard Terrence Shannon. He was an All-American caliber player at Illinois, legitimate NBA prospect.
My favorite player in the country, in fact.
He was.
You know, I'm piling on with. Is it me an Illinois fan?
Yes.
Okay, we're all against you.
Okay, that's fine. So
what are we getting you to apologize for?
Okay, I'll walk you through it. I wasn't going to bring it up on my own because it feels, but I'm happy to talk about it once you bring it up.
Especially on the biggest Fighting Illini show in Memphis.
Yes. So he was having a wonderful season, and then there was a report. He has been arrested for sexual assault. He was, for lack of a better term, he was charged with rape in Kansas. And Illinois has a policy, like a lot of athletic departments have these days, where if you are charged with a serious crime, one that rises to this level, then there's an automatic trigger. You are not allowed to represent us anymore. We'll keep you in school, but you're not going to play basketball or football or anything else for us under these circumstances. So as soon as he's arrested, the policy is triggered and he is suspended from the basketball team for, again, lack of a better word. Well, he goes to court, a little bit like James Wiseman did once upon a time, to try to get an injunction to allow him to play while this case is unfolding, because he had from the jump maintained his innocence. A judge granted that injunction, and again, forgive me with the terms, but like you get the point. And then Illinois immediately reinstated him and said he's going to play for us now, because what are we going to do? You know, the judge said we got to play him.
Right.
And at that point, I took issue. You ready for this? Not with Terrence Shannon. Like, what people are asking me to apologize is to apologize to Terrence Shannon for calling him a rapist, which I never did. Like, if I wanted to engage these people.
So you ripped Illinois for playing him?
I questioned Illinois for playing him.
That's what they're saying you should apologize for.
No, they actually think I called Terrence Shannon a rapist or implied that he's a sexual
deviant.
Just they are putting a lot of words into my mouth that never actually came out of my mouth. In fact, I am the person who has told this story a bunch of times and even hinted at it as it pertains to the Terrence Shannon thing. Like, there is this sentiment, and I'm not here to argue about it, but you hear this all the time. Always believe women, always. If a woman says she was assaulted, then you believe her. And if you don't, then there's something wrong with you. Well, respectfully, I don't believe that's a proper approach to anything, because my roommate in college was accused of sexual assault. The police knocked on our door and wanted to talk to him. And it was
mayhem.
It was scary, but also a baseless allegation. The truth is, he went home with a girl and hooked up with her, and she was cheating on her boyfriend, and the boyfriend came home and caught them, and she told her boyfriend, but I think I was drugged. He must have drugged me. And my friend was like, absolutely not. Right. Luckily, they were drinking in a casino where there were cameras everywhere. And the police went and got the cameras, and they're like, there is no, and finally she took her story back. That's never left me. So I tell all this as I'm saying, I'm not speaking on Terrence Shannon's innocence or guilt. I'm going to let this thing play out. But if you have a policy that says if somebody is charged with this type of crime, not just accused, but charged, then they're not going to represent your university anymore. To then hide behind this ruling when you could have challenged it if you wanted to, I thought was an easy way out, because the person involved was a first-team All-American level guy.
Right. If you were going to stand by him, then you should have stood by him.
You ready for that?
And I've
actually made this point before. I wish they would. I don't wish anything. I could have respected on some level even more if they stood up and said, we don't believe Terrence Shannon did what he's accused of doing, and we are not going to rip this season away from him based on what we believe to be a false and completely made-up allegation. We stand by our guy. That's not what they said, though.
Well, and I remember when he was killing it in the NCAA tournament, he put out this thing, and because this became, look, and we talked about it on the show, and it's like, look, I was saying, we'll see what comes of this. When people hear this guy was accused of rape, and the story was that he grabbed a girl's butt and then he put his hand up her skirt at a bar where there evidently were cameras, so you would be able to find out if this is true or not. He said, I didn't do this, and you're gonna ruin my life. And I actually, like, there's always that part of you. There's like, damn, man, if he didn't do it. Like, you really are going to, like, smear. This guy's already been. We went through it with the punter that got the Buffalo Bills punter.
Oh, you know who else we went through it with?
Got drafted, and then they said that he wasn't even part of. Remember, they said it was gang rape.
Yeah, and he wasn't even there.
And he wasn't even a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but by the time they find out that he wasn't even part of it, I mean, this guy has been. And he's had all the articles written, and he's had everything else.
Well, remember the little point guard that went JUCO from Memphis, played at Melrose, went JUCO, then went to Louisville?
Yep.
Whatever, I can't remember his name right now. He played for Steve Forbes at
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. His Louisville career ended with a sexual assault allegation that was later dropped.
Yeah.
All right? So I'm not ignorant to this, or even, that's an awful thing when that happens, when somebody is it appears, falsely accused, and they have to pay. You have something taken away from you that you can never get back. Like, if they would have stood up and said that exactly, I could have been like,
we believe Terrence Shannon.
We believe in Terrence Shannon. We're standing with him. They said that. You know when they said that? Yesterday, after the verdict came in. You know what they said leading up to all throughout the season when they reinserted him to the team? You know what they said? Well, there's nothing we can really do. You know, we just have to. And I've never believed that and still don't believe that to be true. You know, I understand you might have legally had to reintroduce him to the team, but the idea that he had to lead you out of the tunnel, like they were pretty brazen with it. And my whole point was you either have a policy that you believe in or you don't. Mm-hmm. And I don't believe that they would have, if this was the 8th leading scorer on the team, that the situation would have been handled similarly. That my issue.
In the end, it is good the way it played out. Now that he has been acquitted and he really did not do this.
Of course.
The fact that he was able to play and it did not ruin his life.
Oh, of course.
Right?
And the also, like, as long as we're talking about those things, that this is wrapped up before the NBA draft is a good thing. I should be clear. I followed the case. It appears that he was falsely accused. If I would have been on the jury, you know what I would have said? Not guilty, based on the testimony that I've seen. So, yes, it is beautiful that his life has not been further damaged by what appears to be a false allegation. But that's got nothing to do with the points I was making when I was making these points.
It kind of does. I apologize to Illinois. Apologize to Illinois. They did right by playing the guy.
No, you know who
they didn't let his life get ruined.
You know who thinks? Do you know who actually believes shouldn't have been playing basketball under those circumstances? Do you know who actually believes that? Forget me for a second. The University of Illinois. They're the ones with the policy. I didn't make their policy.
But they changed it because they believed the guy.
They changed it when it was convenient. They hid behind a ruling to allow an incredibly talented basketball player to continue to play under set of circumstances that they themselves say they believe he shouldn't have been playing under.
But if the result is great, then they did right. You're just disagreeing with the process versus the result. The result is this guy didn't get his life ruined.
What I'm telling you is if they would have stood up and just said, you know what, we are not going to take, I'm being sincere here.
Why does it matter?
They hid behind the ruling as opposed to stood with Terrence Shannon.
Okay, even then. They still played the guy.
Yes, but they...
Which is good.
I don't think it's good to have a policy and then just decide we'll apply it here or not. If you have a policy, the policy should be the policy.
Well, I mean, you could say hide behind, but they went to the law. And once that thing was extended, right, and they had this...
There ain't no judge that makes you have to play somebody 34 minutes a game or get 17 shots. Coaches have historically benched players, refused to play players for any number of things, breaking curfew or just not properly guarding ball screens. It has forever been at the...
This is a crime. And once the crime was looked at and there was more information that came out of it, maybe they had a level of comfortability than playing him.
Say it. Say, I stand with Terrence Shannon Jr. because I don't believe he did anything wrong. Say that. They never said that.
Why does it matter?
Because that's you standing by your player as opposed to hiding.
When did you start caring if Illinois stands behind their policies?
I don't care. Well, no, I thought you were going to say something else. My whole thing is they conveniently... It was one of those deals where if they wanted to challenge this, they could have. They didn't want to challenge it. And they also didn't want to be so bold as
that's because if he had done it, then you're super screwed.
Well, no,
I mean, you have to understand that.
Well, they could have at any moment stood with Terrence Shannon. They did not stand with him.
Well, you will admit, it's a very difficult situation.
Of course it is.
Because there is no great answer.
No,
because if you do stand behind your policy, you ruin the kid's life.
All right, you ready for this? Then maybe that's a reason for you to not to have such a hard and fast policy.
Yeah, maybe but in most cases, it's a good policy to have. It is.
Okay, that's why the policy is in place.
Right.
I don't believe you should. Let's make it any workplace. Let's make it some office building over there. They have an office building over there, and they say if you are not if you're accused, but if you are charged with a felony, then you can no longer work here. We'll keep paying you, but you can't come to the office anymore until this whole thing is resolved. And then the best employee is charged with a felony, and you go, well, let's see about this. That's what it felt like happened here. That's what it felt like happened.
But that's what's fair.
What's fair? I don't understand.
Let's be honest. If I got accused of something, a felony, and then I met with all of our bosses. And I said, look, man, I did not do this.
Right.
I'm telling you, you can trust me. You can stand behind me. I didn't do this. The idea that they wouldn't make a special consideration on their policy, to me, would be upsetting.
But here's the thing you're missing.
Right?
They didn't make a special consideration on their policy. They suspended him. They didn't ever then come back and say, we've now looked into this and we believe Terrence Shannon is innocent and we are not going to damage this young man because we feel like he's been falsely accused by a liar. They didn't do that. They said, this judge said, what are we going to do? You know, it's not really in our hands anymore.
Could he have then sued the school?
You could sue anybody for anything.
I mean, and
then they could have defended themselves if they wanted to believe in their policy. They could have defended themselves.
I got you, but I mean, once you're getting sued by the guy and he says, hey, they kept me off the court, they suspended me for a false accusation, and they ruined my life. Yeah, now all of a sudden you're on the hook for what his future earnings were, you know?
All I'm telling you, like this could have ended badly for them or for Terrence Shannon. It could have gone a million different ways. All I'm telling you is that if you believe in your policy, the policy that you have set, and you wanted to challenge this, you could have challenged it. They decided once Terrence Shannon took it to where he took it, they would just lay back, and I will forever believe the main reason is because he was awesome at basketball.
Or they could have gotten sued.
Of course.
But once it goes to court and the guy says, like, hey, now.
Yeah, but like people threaten to sue people all the time, and so you know what other people do sometimes? They say, sue me then. Let's go. I got lawyers too.
Yeah, but look, man, if your best player then sues and rightfully wins because you benched them because they were falsely accused, that is a disaster for your athletics program. They are not in a terrible spot right now.
There's
just
something,
because Gary Parrish is ripping them because of a policy.
We're not connected on something here. Here's my whole point. Everything you're saying, I understand, all right? That it would be awful to have somebody be falsely accused of something and then have their last season of college basketball ripped away. I agree with you. That might actually be a reason for you not to have this policy in place. Like, hey, this might happen again to a different player in a different year, and we have this policy in place that it doesn't matter whether the allegation is valid or not, whether we believe it or not. Our policy says if this happens, this has to happen. Maybe we shouldn't have that policy in place anymore. If you want to, what you're telling me is a reason for a policy not to be in place. But once you have the policy in place, to then like, I'm happy to, again, they never stood up and said until yesterday, we believe in Terrence Shannon or we believe he was falsely.
What I'm saying is, Gary, why do you care about their policy if the right thing happened?
Because in the moment, keep in mind, nobody is.
When did you start becoming rules guy?
You're missing the point. None of this is about.
They didn't follow their own rules.
None of this
Who cares?
None of this is about anything I said yesterday. All right, or last week or last month.
This is about you hating Terrence Shannon and the Fighting Illini, of which I represent.
People will not understand your sense of humor and take that where it's taken. This is all based on stuff that I said when this was actually happening. And when this was actually happening, it was Terrence Shannon has been charged with this crime. Illinois has a policy in place that says he can't play under these circumstances. He went to court to try to get a judge to say, you need to reinstate him. And then at that point, rather than stand with their policy, they were like, well, you know, there's nothing we can do. And I've never believed that to be true. They sort of threw their hands up in the air and acted like, yeah, we have a policy in place, we believe in it, but now we can't hold a student athlete to that policy based on something that a judge said. And I just believe that if he would not have been genuinely the best player on that team by a wide margin, I'm not sure it would have unfolded the same way. That's all I've ever said.
And all's well that ends well now? I mean, are you going to be a big Illini fan going forward?
I don't even think in those terms. I know
that's how I do.
Because I had some weird people like tweeting me.
Weird people?
Yesterday, like, oh, I bet you're heartbroken that Terrence Shannon's not going to prison. I'm like, what? Like, it does.
Well, you did text me and say, I can't believe this is bullcrap.
No, I want to be very clear about this. Based on the way it all unfolded in the trial and the evidence that came out and didn't come out, it looks like he was falsely accused. It does.
Which is crazy.
And it would be awful for him to have his professional opportunities ripped away or his freedom taken away. Are you kidding me? Based on the evidence, I would have felt sick based on the evidence that I saw in that trial,
if
that jury would have returned a guilty verdict, because based on what I saw, I don't know how you could have the absence of reasonable doubt.
Right.
It, at the very least, looked like there's real reasonable doubt here. I'm not rooting against Terrence Shannon. I was just talking about a situation in basketball months ago when
and they're mad now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They just need somebody to find to be mad at.
Yeah, I get, whatever.
Right,
like,
right.
that's the other thing.
And you know whose fault it is? And this is where this all gets convoluted. Your king.
My King LeBron.
Go look. Go look at it.
He did say
he
something.
wanted you to find the people that need to apologize.
Oh, I didn't even see that part of it.
The apologies to Terrence Shannon need to be as big as the... Oh, yeah. Your king did this to you.
Here is the wildest part of all of it.
So apologize.
The apology should be 30 times louder than the hate he got.
So now
we know how it goes.
Who said bad stuff about Terrence Shannon?
And you ready for this?
You pop up.
Except I didn't say anything bad about Terrence Shannon ever. I even went back and listened to the podcast just to make sure.
I got caught up in this because I got caught up after Colorado beat Nebraska. It's like, who ever said anything mean about Deion Sanders? And like,
it was you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And next thing I know, it is 72 straight hours of people like, yeah, dumbass ball. And I'm like, what?
Well, this has been like 24 straight hours of apologize to Terrence Shannon for calling him a rapist. And I'm like,
it's because of LeBron. I hope LeBron tags you.
But here's the thing. Like, I'm being sincere here. I have been critical of Illinois as an institution, and even to a lesser degree, Brad Underwood as a coach. I never criticized Terrence Shannon. I criticized the way the situation unfolded, how it was handled. I don't think even to this moment I've ever said a bad word about Terrence Shannon.
You're just going to give up on this whole school policies. You are. After Brandon Miller and now Terrence Shannon, it's like, it's not worth it.
I'll stand by the Brandon Miller thing forever.
But it's not worth it.
I don't think
really, in the end, who cares?
Well, there is that.
Because now all these people hate me.
Yeah, but
just because I think a school's stupid.
Yeah, but I don't I'm just not. Honestly, I don't.
You don't care?
I don't want to say I don't care because it becomes annoying. You know, like it's just like. I do have Twitter up in front of me all the time, and it's just the same stuff over and over again for 24 straight hours. But like, as soon as I leave,
dude, telling you that the Mets lost was the funniest one. A guy's mad about the Terrence Shannon thing. He's telling you the Mets lost.
Oh,
because he knows you like the Mets.
They start spamming everything. I mean, it's like Instagram post wishing my wife a happy anniversary, and it's like, does your wife know you owe Terrence Shannon an apology? And I promise you, in this moment, you ready for this? My wife has no idea who Terrence Shannon is. None at all. So like,
I had one when I picked against the Lakers in a game,
right.
Not even like in a series, in a game, in the Miami series. Years ago, I guess the bubble finals or something like that. I remember a Laker fan commented on it was literally a post of Haley scoring a soccer goal.
Right.
And the guy was like, F you. How about that Lakers pitch now? And I was like, what? This is just crazy, bro. This is my daughter's soccer goal.
Oh, somebody, when it was like Jordan Poole was being great for that minute. And people, because I famously gave the Warriors a bad grade for taking him, like a C- or something. And there would be like a post on about I'm just proud of my son for getting into this school, and underneath the post it'd be like, I give your son a C-.
Welcome to the pool party.
Yeah. It was just like, what are we doing? So it's a little annoying in the sense that I do look at Twitter and to have all these people asking you to apologize for something that you didn't actually say or do, it's annoying, but it's not so much.
It'll also last 12 hours.
Yeah, as soon as I leave here, I'm going to take my phone, I'm going to put it on Sirius XM, and we're going to be on a golf course for 4 hours.
I'm going to ask you this, though. I'm going to ask you one favor as a friend. Whoever drafts him, give him an F. And
now we got to do
so they're just F grades. F-.
Terrence Shannon. Terrence Shannon is F-. I can't believe that. I wish him well. I sincerely.
No, you don't. You hope this guy is an utter failure.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
And you hope he commits another crime so you can come back and say, see.
Wait till the Grizzlies take him. Wait till the Grizzlies take him.
I think look, I loved him as a player in the tournament.
He's a great college player.
They ran into, who was the last team that UConn just destroyed them. But it was very reminiscent to me of Ja Morant playing against Florida State,
right?
Where it's like, bro, you have no chance in this game. Right. The games before that, the two that they played in the tournament before that, he was by far the best player on the floor and looked like a real NBA wing prospect.
Oh, he was
awesome.
He was awesome, and he is a real prospect.
Yes,
like he might go in the first round.
Well, and this helps enormously because it's a week and a half before the draft.
He is very fortunate. I don't want to say lucky because he's unfortunate and unlucky to even have to go through all of this stuff. But he is fortunate that this is wrapped up when it's wrapped up.
Yep.
It'll still be something he'll have to. NBA franchises are still going to ask questions about it. Mm-hmm. Just because you were found not guilty by a jury of your peers doesn't mean they might have some questions. But based on everything we know right now, like I know, like somebody asked me this question yesterday. So do you think this will still? NBA teams will hold this against him. I don't know why they would. I don't know why they would. They'll still have questions to ask, and if they aren't comfortable with answers, perhaps they could be damaging. But based on everything we know at this point, there's nothing we know that would make you go, there's a real red flag with that guy now. And part of that is this being resolved? If it just remained unresolved, not even like guilty, but like, well, we're still waiting, it'd be a much harder thing for an NBA franchise to do on the night of the draft or the second night of the draft. But I think, I believe he'll get picked. I do think he'll get picked.
I'm going to ask you about the draft stuff. So we are now less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft. And one of the things I talked with Kevin O'Connor about last night is he's always updating his mock draft. He said, there's been this sentiment, I guess, over the last couple of days that the word that Atlanta worked out Klingon, it went really well, right. And like, oh, wow, could Klingon end up going number one? And nobody even bats an eye, especially because we know so little about Risa Shea and Sarr and Topic and some of these other guys that are up there at the top. And you will remember this because it's not that many years ago, but I've told Kevin for the last couple of months, this is so reminiscent of the Anthony Bennett draft where the whole time leading up, it was Ben McLemore. That's who was number one, like, on all of those mock drafts. Ben McLemore out of Kansas, he's the number one pick. And then he had, like, the LeBron connection and whatever else. And then by the time we got to it, it ended up going Bennett and then Oladipo and then maybe Nerlens Noel or somebody. I can't even remember who was after that. But that no one had it right and that this one feels the same way. But I'll ask you, of the college players, right? At what point, if I told you they were going to be like one of the top 3 picks, would you be stunned? And so if I just go down them, right? Mm-hmm. I will assume Klingon, absolutely not. You would not be stunned, right? I think it's fair to say you would not be stunned if it was Reed Sheppard.
I think Reed Sheppard, I think he will go in the top 3 and should go in the top 3.
And if he doesn't go in the top 3, he's going 4 to San Antonio because that's perfect.
Perfect.
Playing with Wemby, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then we get to, Bazelis we'll leave out. Just college players. Castle, obviously, if he went in the top 3, it would not be that surprising, right?
I'm not expecting it at this point, but I'm not ruling it out.
How about if I told you that by the time we get there, right? Because, look, Bennett and Oladipo and the way that all went at the I think it was Alex Lynn maybe at the very top or whatever at that time. Jacoby Walter, Cody Williams, Dalton Connect. Are we now to the stage? I guess we got to throw Dillingham in there as well. Like, who could get drafted in the top 3 that you would be like, whoa? Like, at what point do I get to a name? Because even like Harden wasn't expected to go 3 the year that we after
so
Sabine,
I don't think you can find a mock draft that's going to have Dalton Connect going in the top 3, but you can find basketball people who will tell you I think he's one of the 3 best prospects in this draft.
Really?
I'm Fran Fraschilla, I think, is on record saying he'll be the best college player from this draft.
What?
Yeah. So that
say it, Roser.
So
GBO.
so if let's say that there's somebody who holds that same opinion as Franny, who's running an NBA franchise, then maybe out of nowhere it's
okay,
like.
So you would say he does not apply to this, where you would be like, oh my God.
I would be surprised, but he's one where if you're looking like who's the sneaky guy who could pop into the top 3 that nobody has there right now, Connect seems like because right now
Dillingham, you would not be shocked.
I think
just because he's a Kentucky guy, and it's like, okay,
and yeah,
Andy was a huge high school prospect.
But he's so little.
I got you.
Yeah, he's so little.
All right, what the other two, Walter or Williams? I would be surprised if it's Cody Williams.
Yeah,
but maybe I shouldn't be.
I think Cody Williams is going to be. I think he's pretty accurately labeled. But
if they did the project thing, you remember we did this years ago. It's kind of like, to me, that would feel kind of. Who was the guy that was the 6th man? He got drafted ahead of Paul and Darren Williams.
Oh, the North Carolina.
Marvin
Williams.
Yeah. It's very Marvin Williams-y, right? Where it's like, what the?
Right.
Like, Chris Paul and Darren Williams, and like this guy, Marvin Williams, but he was like a bench player for North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so I guess Cody Williams could apply to that, right? Where it's like, what? He didn't do all that much.
I think I could see. I'm higher on Jacoby Walter than most. It's interesting. Most mocks seem to have him outside of the lottery, but he was one of the first 12 players to get a green room invite, and that is not always an indicator of you're actually going in the top 12. But I think that's a good sign for him. But I like him.
Jacoby Walter.
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't apply
too. He's one of the guys I've seen. When Baylor played in the tournament here, I was like, this kid's like a real athlete here.
Yeah.
Like he's
raw.
He's got pretty good size.
So he doesn't apply.
Yeah, I don't.
If he went in the top 3, it would be like it's obviously. Look, they're saying this is not going to follow the mocks. Everybody's mock's going to be wrong.
I can see that because
you know what I mean.
Well,
and everybody's mock was wrong that year.
Yeah. Well, just as somebody who has done this for years, it is unusual that the guy we're starting to all come together on Reed Sheppard now.
Yep.
But I've had Reed Sheppard like 2nd in this draft for months, and other people would have him like 8th or 9th. You know, and it's like that's a big gap for me to say I think this guy's top 2 and somebody else to say more like borderline top 10. That's not usually the way we talk about prospects.
It's funny you say him because I've always loved him as well. And I told Kevin, we are literally let's say Rob Dillingham, right? We are, because Sheppard I think now is pretty consensus, right, in that top 4 or 5. We are a Rob Dillingham went 99 for 100 from 3 in his Charlotte workout, away from, oh my God, should he be the number 1 pick? Like that's where we are in this draft. It's the craziest
You could
thing.
reasonably, I think at the end of this, it's going to come down to like Alex Sarr, Ricochet, maybe Reed Sheppard, maybe Klingon, like for the top pick.
Well, they say Buzelis is now thrown, because he was supposed to be the number 1 pick. Yeah. And usually this stuff comes back around, right? Well, and it's like, oh, geez.
Well, you ready for this? Like 2 years ago, it was heading into the season, who should be the number 1 pick? Paulo. During the season, who should be the number 1 pick? Looks like Paulo. Yeah. Then we get into the draft season, it's like, I don't think it's going to be.
Jabari.
Yeah. And then, then it's draft night, and who was it? The guy that.
Because of me.
If you asked him a year ago, they'd have said this guy, but if you asked him yesterday, they wouldn't have said him.
Because of me.
You boomed him to the top?
I really did.
How'd you do that?
I think I've told this story before, right? Jabari was going number 1, and Paulo was going a little bit lower, and Paulo was fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Paulo decides, I do care about being the number 1 pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
His agent is Mike Miller.
Right.
Mike Miller, they reach out to me, and they're like, hey, do you have the old podcast that I did with you at the Ringer in whatever, 5 years before? I was like, yeah, I've got it, whatever. And so I sent the file to him, and I'm like, oh, he's recruiting players and blah, blah, blah. And so anyways, then I see him out at the golf course about 2 weeks after the draft, and I hear his voice, and he's like, hey. And he's like, hey, man, I just wanted to thank you. And I was like, what? And he goes, Paulo was going to go, 3 or 2. I think it was 3 because they were going to take Chet too, right? He was going to go 3 to Houston, I think it was. The kid then decides, because these kids are fickle. I do care about going number 1, and I want to go to Orlando, right? And so he's like, so I have to full court press at that time. Because he's like, thanks for sending the pod. I said, did you get a player out of it? And he goes, no, but Paulo went 1. And I said, what the hell? He sent the podcast that he did with me. On this podcast, he said that the best young player on the Denver Nugget, this in 2016, is Nikola Jokic, and the guy will be 10-time All-NBA. Wow. It was a crazy statement to make. Crazy. He sent it to John Gabriel and the powers that be at Orlando and said, I want you to listen to this. I don't miss.
Oh, wow.
And they friggin' drafted the kid.
And he was right. He was the right pick.
He was right.
Yeah.
Mike knows talent.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But it was crazy. It was like this full court press at the end. That where it's like this cool agent story where the agent's like, I've gotta get them to want to draft this guy, right? Because the kid cares about it right now. And and this will be a good spot for him anyway. And the kid cares about going number 1. And oddly, that old podcast, which I had referenced before, he really did say that. He told me that the guy was going to be a 10-time All-Pro, and I was like, what are you talking? He hadn't done nothing. He was like 8, 9, and 8 or something, and they still had Nurkic on the team, right? And he was like, he reminds me of both Gasol brothers, except he's going to be the best. Like, 10-time All-NBA is an insane thing to say about somebody that hasn't done something.
He's at 6 right now. 6 times.
It's like I know talent. Look at what I said about Jokic in 2016. Listen to me, dude. If you pass on this guy, you will regret it forever. And they're like, well, shit, all right.
Like in that draft, is that the Chet draft too?
The what?
Is that the Chet Holmgren draft as well?
Yeah, he was 2.
So is it clear that Banchero was the right pick at this point over Chet? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be, I think that there is a better chance that Banchero is one of the 5 to 10 best players in the entire NBA than Chet.
Well, at first
I do think Chet's going to be unbelievable.
I think Chet's pretty awesome.
I could see Banchero, because of the scoring, I could see Banchero being your best player.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure
that Chet can be the best player on it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It might be more like a Jaren.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like better. Maybe better than Jaren. It's possible.
But Paulo could be the best player on an Eastern Conference Finals team and all that stuff.
The guy that's gets 49.
And he's always looked this way. The first time I saw him was at USA Basketball after his sophomore year of high school. All right? He's in between sophomore and junior year. And it was one of those deals where I went into it, like I don't know the 15-year-olds. I don't. And you just look, it's like, whoa, who is that? And I remember I was sitting with, I don't guess anybody would mind me saying it, but the Kentucky staff at the time. And I was like, they were recruiting him. Everybody was recruiting him. And the Kentucky staff had a preseason top 10 team coming back. And the Kentucky staff told me, they were like, he could start for us right now. As a junior in high school, he could start for us at Kentucky right now. That's how awesome he was.
And since then, him in person.
He's big.
Oh, my God.
He's a big boy. And
he's like 6'11" in shoes.
And he's
huge.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? The weird thing is, I had somebody describe this. His rookie year, I knew the guys that did some advertising with him. And I was like, man, like the first time I was around him, because my son actually met him here in Memphis. And I was like, you don't realize how monstrous this guy is and then you get up on him and you're like, God, what? And you know what they explained to me, which this is always stuck in my mind. They said, it's because this is somebody that did like clothes and stuff. Like they actually did like like if you were going to outfit him for an ad or something like that, right? And they said, you know what it is? It's that he is that huge and he is like perfectly proportioned. He's like how you should look. And he said, all these guys are freakos. They've got these super long arms, or they've got these really long legs, or they've got these short torsos. He's just like a perfectly proportioned regular size human, bigger, right? Like you see some of these guys, and like seriously, if you ever like around Jaren, his arms are like all the way down to like damn near his knees, and like same with Mikal Bridges. You see them in person, you're like, what? It's not proportioned to the rest of their body.
He's just,
and yet this guy is just a huge human being.
Yeah, he's not just tall. There's a lot of tall people walking around the NBA. He's big. He's tall and big.
Yeah.
The other one, I've always said this, like I didn't properly understand how big he was until I happened to be standing on FedEx Forum court beside him. I'm like, this guy is LaMarcus Aldridge.
Oh, yeah.
I was always like, he's just big.
Oh, I had one last year, and it was I was walking out of the tunnel, and I walk out of this hallway, he walks out of this hallway, and we're walking together. And I looked over at him, and I am like looking like above his waist, and it was friggin' Robin Lopez, and I'm like, that dude is
the Lopez twins are big dudes.
Monster,
right?
Monster. I'm like, God.
No,
how do you even function like that?
No, it's funny.
I felt like a mini-me.
Yeah, well, you just because I work with, among others, like Roy Hibbert, and you just watch how they have to deal with their day-to-day. Like they're just constantly ducking and constantly having to move around. It's just their life. Like nothing is normal. Like, just the way, I'd
like to see what the world looks like just for a day. I'd just like to experience, like, what does the world look like from up there?
I actually had this, like, moment of clarity. I was standing on, like, a little step stool one time, and it was probably, 8 inches or something. And I was like, so this is what it would be like to be 6'5". And it really just, like, and that's not absurd. Like,
this is awesome.
It really felt awesome. Like, I could see stuff, and I felt up there. I was like, man, I don't even know I didn't even know the world looked like this from up here. Because it's just a different place up there. For me and Kendrick, and you and Kendrick, we don't know what the world looks like up there. No. I'd love to be 6'5".
Me too. All right, go enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you.
Have a Father's Day. I guess, are you going to a baseball game on Sunday?
We are traveling on Sunday.
You're traveling on Father's Day. So here's Dad screaming at everyone. Now, what are you doing?
Dad, my iPad's dead. Well, I told you to charge it.
Are you driving?
We are. Because it's
on Father's Day, you really are going to be screaming at people all day.
It's going to be a disaster.
Why are you doing?
Oh my God!
You planned this? Like, what do I want to do on Father's Day? I want to ride in a car with children for 6 hours.
You sound like Kelly now. She's like, you thought this through?
No, you didn't think it through.
The truth is, I only fly Delta, right? And there's no direct Delta flights to Dallas.
Why will you not fly something else?
I won't do it. I can't do it. I'm loyal.
Why?
Why?
I'm loyal. Because I don't want to.
But they're not loyal to you.
They are too.
No, they would not be.
They do anything for
drop
me.
your ass.
They would. If they said they would throw you out of the plane.
If Delta heard about me flying on American Airlines, I'd feel like I have to apologize to them.
Oh my God.
So, given that I'd have to
You would rather drive in a car with two kids that are what? I guess they're 11,
10 and 7 now.
10 and 7.
Oh God!
Then fly on something that's not Delta. I would rather fly on a crop duster than ride in a car with a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old.
You gave me good advice. Oliver's in the front seat.
Oh, yeah.
Lou's in the back.
I'm smart about that.
You have to separate them.
You do.
Yeah.
That'll work.
That's the problem.
Right.
Once you realize that you can put one of them in the front and one of them in the back, you have alleviated 99% of the problemes. You will still have the 1% of the grabbing the back of their head from the back, but that's few and far between.
We're going to hope that separation combined with fully charged iPads gets us there, but I understand your skepticism.
Yeah, no. You're going to be screaming at them.
But the idea would be...
Especially because, they're going to have to piss all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's boys, so, you can start doing the bottles already.
Yeah, you can get the Gatorade bottle or the milk jug or something.
I don't mind the only part that gets... where I lose my mind is the just agitating for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Just like...
Oh, that's going to happen.
Just agitating for no reason. Like, why are you guys yelling at each other? Because he's looking at me.
Or they're going to want something that the only reason they want it is because they've got it. I wanted that.
My iPhone's dead. My iPad's dead. can I use your iPhone? So then Kelly will give one of them the iPhone. And then the other one's iPad will go dead. So now they're fighting over her iPhone.
It's just siblings, man.
It's just
siblings.
Right. Yeah.
The other night, I mean, I hear a scream from the other room, and it's like, Daddy!
Right.
Get William off me! And I walk in there. He's just laying on top of her.
Right.
For no reason.
Well, that's so.
No, he's 14. No reason. He's just smushing her.
Yeah.
She's like, ah.
They just mess with each other.
Yes.
So it's like in the pool the other day. I'm upstairs trying to work, and they're in the pool, and they're just. All I can hear is Louis crying the whole time. Yes. So I go down there and I say, "Hey, listen, I don't," because it's never either one of their fault. They never did anything. I didn't do nothing. That's all they say. I didn't do nothing. That's
mine is I always get blamed.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My son always gets blamed for everything because she is a liar.
So right. So then I come down and I say, listen, I'm trying to work. I'm tired of listening to you scream. All right. If you can't be in here without screaming and making noises that are loud, then you got to get out of here. It's not I don't care whose fault it is. Either you are the one talking to Louis. Either you're the one causing this, and then he's beating your brains in, or you can't be here without getting your brains beat in, so you need to leave. Either way, we got to resolve this.
One of the other.
If I hear either one of you scream again, you're both in trouble. All right, we'll be fine. We'll go upstairs. 2 minutes later, I'm coming back downstairs. Just fighting.
And now you're going to get in on Father's Day in a car for 6 hours.
Oh, it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. But we have high hopes. We have good intentions. Perhaps.
Baseball games on Monday?
You're going to go baseball. I think the plan, we're going to go see a Mets-Rangers game.
Because you can't even drink in the car like you would typically just drink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could just be blacked out on a plane.
Right.
And it wouldn't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm
going to yell all you want.
I'm going to have to do this sober.
Wow.
This is tough.
On Father's Day.
I'm going to have to stay sober on Father's Day. This is tough.
It might be your last Father's Day.
So
you be stepfather's day.
So we'll do. Well, hey, let me ask you this, because Kelly suggested at one point, because Oliver was like, yeah, me and Dad, because I think I first talked about the idea of this with Oliver, and he got it in his head like me and Dad are going, as opposed to we're all going. Kelly said the trips would actually be more memorable for the kids if they weren't fighting with each other the whole time and aggravating each other the whole time, if you did solo trips. Are you a believer in solo trips?
Yeah, I would do that.
Like you and William just going by yourself.
We've done it.
And then you and Haley go do something.
We did it with Roser.
Right.
I take him to that National Sports Collectors Convention, so it's me and him and Roser.
Yeah.
But he loves that trip.
Right. Yeah, like me and I've taken Oliver on.
Yeah.
I took Oliver to New York, just me and him, and that's the trip that he holds up as the gold standard.
The problem the reason I can't do it is jealousy.
Well, yeah,
I have to have it so that they've got something else going on.
Right.
So like for instance, I took my son out to the golf course on whatever day it was. She was at camp.
Well,
But I could not have taken him to the golf course.
Right.
She would have been super upset that I took him out to the golf course.
And maybe yours are old enough now, but I can't take them both to the golf course. You can't take them both and allow them both to play. It's just impossible. There's people coming up behind you. They're fighting about whose ball is what. So I took Oliver out on Wednesday. But because Louis was in a camp, so I could free it up. But I can't just walk out the door with Oliver and leave Louis here, or vice versa, without one of them getting genuinely their feelings hurt.
Sure.
You know?
You have to have another trip planned for somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all complicated, but the goal is Mets Rangers, probably Six Flags, and then we might go see FC Dallas, go see an MLS game as well.
Oh.
Yeah, they're playing as well. So, we'll see how it goes.
All right.
I'm sure.
Enjoy it.
It'll
be great. It'll be great.
It'll be terrible.
Once you get there.
I do want to, since the U.S. Open is on around us, what would y'all shoot at that golf course?
150.
Could you break 100?
No.
I did.
No, don't say you could break 100.
I didn't. I'm telling you, they advertise, what would you shoot at Pioneer? You haven't seen this ad? So I have a gin, whatever, it's the golf handicap, right?
Yeah.
So it said, go to whatever the thing is, and one of the things is it'll say, what would you shoot?
Oh, wow.
And they advertised it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I clicked it, and it said, what would you shoot at Pinehurst number 2, whatever? And then the score pops up, and it said 91. And I was like, no way.
There's no chance.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it in my head. I was like, that would be basically I could I par 8 holes and then get
No.
10 double bogeys? And the answer is, of course, dude, there'd be a 15 on
Well,
my
look, did you
card.
see this? He just left his putt 10 feet short.
Yeah.
These guys don't miss like that.
No, so what I'm telling you is I do not believe what it says. It says the number would be, it said I would shoot 91, and there is absolutely no way.
Look at these putts. They're just missing them badly.
Oh, I know.
Like they're putting. Do you see the thing I sent you earlier today? The guy like putted the ball off the green.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff we do
You
when
didn't
we
see,
suck.
what's his name? My buddy Nathan Hubbard, his brother.
Yeah,
Mark Hubbard.
Hit it within a foot
Right.
of the hole, and it just
got a 7.
and it rolled back.
He got a
off.
7 on a hole that he missed the hole by a foot.
That's right.
I mean, the one that
what?
The one that
No,
yeah, the
I'd shoot
one that-
150.
Yeah, right.
I'd be so because one of those holes would just be like a give up hole.
The
like
one
how
that,
they
Yes.
they finally just make you stop playing the hole on Golden Tee. That's what it would be.
Right. And it
The
would be
forfeit.
And it would happen to you on the green. You'd be 4 yards off the green, and it'd take you 5 more to get it in.
No,
they show Tiger Woods chipping with his 4-iron.
Right. It's outrageous.
No,
it's so hard.
the one that Scheffler and Xander both doubled. Like Rory also, they had all 3 hit the ball at the same part, and they literally said your option. This is your best option. Your best play is to hit the ball on the other side of the green and off the green. That's your play.
I don't think we could.
Like,
I don't think we
okay.
could scramble best ball and shoot 91.
No,
I'm serious.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Like that's 2 cracks at it.
It's
And
so.
2 cracks at every shot. I still don't think we could.
I mean, you're watching the best players in the world look like they're confused.
Scotty Scheffler threw his putter today. But
Kepka last night. Did you
putted
see
it, threw it
that?
up.
He's not doing an interview. That's how,
No, but he did.
He did the
text
interview, right?
Eamon Lynch.
Right.
And he said he thought 4 wins it.
Maybe, yeah.
-4.
Yeah.
And now he's looking like a genius.
You got to think the
these
courses
scores are all.
And the course is not going to get easy.
Like, it's destroying
just going to
these
get
guys.
harder and harder.
When we woke up today, your leaders were 5 under, and their leaders are still 5 under.
Yeah.
And they haven't teed off.
Right.
Cantlay could literally be 4 under by the time he's done with the first hole. Right. All right. Enjoy your trip.
All right. Bye-bye.
We'll be back after this. Chris Vernon Show.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's #1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
G.G. Jackson, I don't know if you know this, CJ, youngest player in the NBA, does not turn 20 until December of this year. He was the 45th pick in last year's draft. He becomes the first teenager, I believe, to be named to an all-rookie team without having been a first-round pick. Shout out G.G. Jackson.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Life Care Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At Life Care, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
If you look at it as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Marge Simpson?
Come on, Bennett. You'd hook up with Marge Simpson?
Yeah. You ever see the ones with her hair, when she lets her hair down?
You're attracted to Marge Simpson.
Marge is cute.
Cute?
Legacy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I respect her.
Yeah.
But she ain't Jessica Rabbit.
No, she's not Jessica Rabbit. She's not Jessica Rabbit. No.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Presented by Caesars Sportsbook. Now, back to your host, Chris Vernon.
Microphone 1 2 1 2. Pack the whole place out. Watch what I do. I've been all around the world. Watch me make these moves, and I did my way. Watch me break these rules. Yeah, I'm coming.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show. Show's brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. You can go to your app store. You can type in Caesars Sportsbook, and you can download it for free. You can use it legally in the state of Tennessee, and new users get up to $1,000 back as a bonus bet if you lose your first wager using the code GCM1000. GCM1000. Caesars Sportsbook. All right, tonight.
Yeah.
Game 4.
You guessed yesterday.
I said 1. Dallas 1.
And you were right. It was 1.5 at some spots, but it was mainly 1.
Has it moved?
It has moved. It has moved.
It has moved to Dallas 1.5.
It is not.
It has moved to Pick'em.
It has moved to Boston -1, 1.5 now. Yeah. Now
so they say this team is dead.
Okay. So
but now that Boston is just stomping on them.
But this is what's weird. This is weird.
Oh.
So
something is weird.
Our presenting sponsor, Caesars Sportsbook.
Okay.
It is Celtics -1.5. At BetMGM, it is Celtics -1.5. At FanDuel, it is Celtics -1.
Okay.
At DraftKings and BetRivers, it is Mavericks -1. So that's like...
Yeah, a little flipped. All right, interesting. I will say that I don't know... I am hopeful that it's not just a sweep. Sweeps are terrible.
Yeah.
Right? And it would be fun for the Mavericks to win a game and then, God forbid, they win another game and then you get a game 6 that would be back in Dallas. And then it would be like, well, this is what would have happened if Luka wasn't out for the last 4 minutes of the game. You know, they flipped it, and now we see what life is like without Porzingis. And like, the best thing for an NBA fan is that the thing becomes interesting. It is not very likely because there's just no way around it. Teams that are up 3-0 in a series are 156-0.
Yes, I heard you say this. It's not 200-0 though. I heard you say that. It's
and
not
they're
200-0.
14-0 in the finals. So not great.
No, it's not.
Great.
I mean,
this is all we gotta hope that Boston wants to do it on their home floor.
And I tend to hope that,
and then we at least get another game.
That Dallas doesn't. Yeah, that Dallas just doesn't want to get swept. Scott Foster's officiating tonight, so the extender.
Do you? So maybe it'll be maybe it'll be a little more physical.
I do think the underrated thing is the Luka stuff. Dude, he got humiliated and shamed.
Okay, what is the Malika Andrews thing that I heard on the way in?
So he did not do, it was like the Mavericks did not show up to their media day yesterday. They did not show up.
Okay.
To like during the open practice thing. Like they did not, like they were not there.
They never did it.
They never did it.
Okay.
And Luka did a sit down with Malika Andrews in the afternoon talking about his game 3. I didn't even watch it, but he talked about his game 3 performance. And
so I heard Jessica and Gary talking about it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what they were talking about.
I didn't watch the interview, but like, that's what it was about. It was about
about game 3.
Fouling out.
Oh, they're trying to
getting mad at the referees, frustration fouls.
Oh.
Because I mean he blamed the referees after the game. You know,
right.
Like that's what he did in his post-game press conference. He's like fouling out. You know, what did he say? Like fouling. I mean, because he got what did you say on the Ringer Pod? You said he got four of his 6 fouls came in like a 9-minute stretch or something.
It said here's I just typed it in. It said Luka Doncic admits he let down Dallas in game number 3, telling his teammates, "My bad, you can't do that, especially in the NBA Finals." Then he said, then somebody else wrote, "Great interview by Malika with Luka. He's taking accountability for fouling out, which is what you want to see in your leaders. Terrific questions from Malika. Luka seems dialed in." He said he is going to need another painkiller for game 4 and going to try to make history down 3-zip.
You should not be mad when you're on a painkiller.
He said, Malika Andrews said, "How do you reflect on fouling out of game 3? Luka, it was tough. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. What did you say to your teammates afterwards? My bad, you can't do that, especially in the NBA Finals." So at least he didn't say like, "Hey, well, why don't you ask Mark Davis?" Right? Like, I mean, he and I had that stat on that I could not believe, considering how much it has been a story about Luka and the refs over the course of it, not just now, the course of his career.
Yeah.
I was in stunned disbelief when I rattled off on a stat while we were recording last night that I had read in an article that over 400 regular season games and 47 playoff games, he had fouled out twice. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You would think a guy that is perpetually aggrieved, he's had more techs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had, the guy's like usually in the league leaders in terms of technical fouls. In fact, hold on a second now. All right, don't look this up, Roser.
No.
All right, I'm going to find out. Here you go. Here's we'll do a little trivia question, okay? Okay. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So there's 3 guys tied for 5th in this.
Yeah.
There's 3 guys tied for 5th in this.
Yeah.
Put down your phone.
Oh, I'm not.
I know.
I have a stat too. But
okay. Give me the top 5 in the NBA in technical fouls.
This year?
Yeah.
Draymond Green.
You missed so many games. He's not. No.
Oh.
Come on.
Can I look at standings so I can see teams here?
Top 5 in technical fouls in the NBA.
In technical fouls. Who gets technical? I don't even know who gets technical fouls.
Who is the subject of our conversation?
Luka?
Number 1, 19 technical fouls.
That's a lot of technical fouls.
19 is a lot.
That is a lot.
It's one every 4 games.
I was thinking everybody not named Luka. It's like, who else gets technical fouls? Like,
do you want to former Grizzly?
Dylan.
17.
Yeah. Jokic got text this year.
Nope.
I feel like he got text.
Nope.
He didn't?
Nope. Jokic had 8 the whole season.
Donovan Mitchell? He complains to refs a lot.
Donovan Mitchell, nowhere near.
Who else complains to referees a lot? Trey Young?
Trey Young is actually tied for 8.
Okay, Trey Young ties for 8. Dude, I don't know who gets technical. I never paid attention to Giannis.
I'll tell you this: these names are going to shock you. This is even the most.
Are these like all-star players? Like who are we talking about here?
Even the most ardent NBA fan
wouldn't know these guys.
They would know.
They know the guys, but they don't know.
Somebody could guess Luka. Somebody could guess Dylan Brooks for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you could see that.
Klay Thompson
tied with Dylan, Bobby Portis. Okay.
Yeah.
Right behind him, 4th, Anthony Edwards.
Oh, okay.
16. And then tied for 5th, Max Strus.
What?
I know. What? Grant Williams.
I can see that.
You can see it.
Yeah,
and now I'm going to absolutely blow your mind at who else is tied for 5th in the NBA in technical fouls this season. You won't believe this. This might be the last. I mean,
Pascal Siakam.
Jason Tatum.
Really? He never talks.
14 technical fouls. The 14 times he talked, they teched him.
No wonder he doesn't like to talk. He gets teched every time he talks.
14. And then George Niang.
I can kind of see that.
Trey Young.
Yeah, Trey Young makes sense.
Jordan Poole, Pat Bev, Devin Booker. Like, these guys are all pricks.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Yeah. Wild. Jason Tatum was tied for 5th in the NBA in technical fouls.
Dude,
and never in a billion years.
You could have given me...
He had 5 less techs than Luka.
You could have told me, hey, this guy who's number 5 is an all-star. And so that Wendell's...
He would have been the last all-star.
He would have been the last one I would have guessed at 14 technical fouls. I would not have guessed Jason Tatum.
Their team got a lot because he had 14. And then if you scroll down, Jaylen Brown had 10.
Really?
Porzingis had 10. Yeah, it is kind of wild.
Jaylen Brown doesn't say really anything on the court either. I mean, like...
I know.
I guess when they get him, they say the right word to make it count.
I guess so. I'm trying to find where the first Grizzly on this list is. Obviously, they had 500 million players. You want to take a guess who led the Grizzlies in technical fouls? I'll tell you this. I could have had you...
Vince Williams?
I could have you guess for an hour.
Vince Williams.
No.
It's not Vince?
No.
See, we had two... Jaren?
No.
Jaren, I mean, I'm trying to think of who played.
I'm telling you could guess for an hour.
So, like, it's somebody that played, like, a couple of 10 days with us?
Virtually. It's Marcus Smart.
Really?
He had 5 techs. He only played in 21 games. He had 5 techs.
He had 5 techs
in
21 games. That's impressive.
How did he have 5 techs?
In 21 games. I mean, that's
Did he play 21 games?
Basically a fourth of the season. If you do that out, he would have played. He would have had 20 techs.
I'm trying to scroll down just to see. Bane and Vince had 4. They had 4.
Okay.
Marcus Smart led the Grizzlies in technical fouls, and he played in 20 games.
He played in 20, and he played 20 games.
How is that even possible, bro? How did you have 5 techs? I'd have to go back and look at him. How do you have 5 techs in 21 games? That's crazy. That is truly a historic rate.
You know what? He played when the season was like terrible, so he was probably pissed off. He's probably really pissed off. He's like the rest of us watching it.
He probably was.
Yeah, he played 20 games. 20 games, 30 minutes a night. Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Well, look, here's what we know. Luka Doncic has said it was irresponsible what he did. He has apologized to his teammates for what he did. And I just think it's kind of wild. He has been, by most accounts, everybody's got him as one of the top 5 players in the NBA.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody thinks he's absolutely unbelievable. This has been a new world, and this is why he probably sat down with Malika Andrews to do that thing. The last, 24 hours, it has changed so dramatically. You know, they always say, we love to build people up and then tear people down and then build them up again and celebrate that they were torn down, but now look at them, right? And they rose from the ashes after we had torn them down. But, man, he is getting beat to shit over the course of the last,
he
the last 24 hours. Now, I've been a part of it, too, but, I mean, he is. And it's because to whom much is given, much is expected. And when you're the only game going, you're the only thing to talk about, then everything is going to be highlighted. And that's just so unheard of for a guy to foul out like that. Really just purely out of frustration.
Yeah.
And cost his team. Because, man, they may just get closed out tonight. Certainly possible. I mean, if you're a Dallas fan, you're just it's tortured. Think about, what would have been. Could it all have been different?
Yeah.
If we flipped that game, all the momentum in the world after a 22-2 run, and then closed it out, and then, oh, my God, they don't have Porzingis, and we're going to be okay after all. And then you get game 4, and it's like everything might have been different. It might have been that Celtics just made the plays, buckled down, Jaylen Brown makes plays, and they end up winning anyway.
They're 6-0 in the clutch.
Yeah. Total possible that they would have just won
in the
anyway. It's possible. But the point is, we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never
and if you're a Dallas fan, in your mind, you go, dude, if he doesn't foul out, we win that game. Yeah. And maybe that is the only thing that I'll say, Roser, for Dallas's favor.
Yeah.
Is them believing that and it not being insane. It's not insane for them to believe. We had them, we were going to win. And then this happened, so let's just keep a cool booty and let's keep playing this thing out, and we can beat this team.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't beat this team, but we can beat this team. We have seen when we play like we're supposed to play, we can win. And that's probably bullcrap. And they're not going to win the series. We're just talking about can they win a game or two.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to beat Boston 4 in a row. They're not beating them. They're not beating that team 4 straight times.
I mean, they're probably not beating them in game 5. It's really just can they win game 4?
Can you win one so we can extend the series?
And I'm on the side of win just so we at least get one more game.
Right. I don't want tonight to be the end of the NBA season.
And what a dud it would be for.
We still got another 2 weeks for the draft?
Because the playoffs really sucked.
Yeah,
they did.
So
the playoffs sucked.
You're speaking on Luka and how really the last 24 hours he's gotten just
beat.
To the point that, I mean, the Windhorse thing literally had, dude, he did a sit-down with Malika Andrews because of that. That is why. To put it in perspective, Luka Doncic leads the NBA playoffs in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and made threes. And nobody has ever done that in the history of basketball. And he leads the playoffs in all of it, and nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No.
Do you know who... Let's see.
Because he's a traffic cone on defense, and he bitches at the refs. That's what everybody's talking about.
Do you know number 2 in made threes in the playoffs?
I mean, obviously it pays to play the most.
It is a person still in the finals.
Derek White.
It is Derek White.
Yeah, I mean,
59 of them. Do you know who is third? It is not somebody in the finals. I will tell you, Kyrie is fourth.
Jalen Williams?
No.
Did he hit a lot of threes
It's
early?
not Jalen Williams. It's not Jalen
Well, I guess he didn't play
Kyrie
enough rounds.
is
He didn't
fourth.
play enough rounds either.
Yeah.
Oh, how about one of the Indiana guys?
Yeah, it's Halliburton.
53
53 of them. Kyrie's fourth, and Anthony Edwards is fifth.
Yeah, so you had to at least get to the conference finals
Yeah.
in order to do it. A couple other things before we get out of here. I was a huge Conor McGregor fan for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Injured, won't return for UFC 303 card. This had been built up where he was going to be coming back and he was going to be fighting, and it was going to be in 2 weeks from now. But there were these stories, he skipped that press conference. There's these videos of him going out. There's that weird-ass video of him sitting alongside Jake Gyllenhaal where he appears to be drugged out of his mind.
And he was going to fight Michael Chandler. That was going to be fun because Chandler's wild, crazy.
I know,
dude.
but it does not seem as if it really looked like that. Dude, that video with him and Gyllenhaal makes it look like he's on drugs.
Yeah.
Everybody that watched that video thought the same thing, if they're being honest.
Yeah.
And I am a huge McGregor fan and was so excited for his return to the ring. And it's like, bro, what is going on with this dude? And that was when they were promoting Roadhouse or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I don't buy the injury. I mean,
yeah,
I suppose he could have gotten injured, whatever. But I mean, it appears he ain't in the best of headspaces. And here's hoping that it is an injury and that he will eventually get back in the ring. But I mean,
talked about he's not as
he's
not as hungry as he
and
used
you
to
lose
be.
that
He's got
edge.
the
How
money.
can you be?
He's got that's what you were fighting for, and now you've got the money, you've got the yachts, you've got the
You're in
house.
Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal.
You're in Hollywood.
That's
like
right.
yeah,
that's right. And so I don't know if the guy's injured or not, but I know he is.
Yeah.
He throughout this entire thing, he has never seemed like a focused fighter that is ready to get back in the ring and reclaim his glory. He has seemed like a guy that's like out partying and
yeah, right.
Maybe getting another paycheck. Big news that dropped early this morning was that Trevor Lawrence agreed to a 5-year, $275 million contract.
Yeah.
$200 million guaranteed, $142 at signing. Price of business, right? If you're gonna hold on to a guy. Now, I will say, and this is as somebody who was as high on Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I thought he was as sure a thing as you can be a sure thing. Bro, they have tried to get receivers in there every single year. They keep getting more receivers, and they did it again this year. He has been underwhelming, bro.
He
has. He's been underwhelming as compared to. I thought this guy was going to be like Andrew Luck.
That's what he was touted as, the best prospect, the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck.
I mean, 21 touchdowns and 14 picks and 17th, QBR is like his.
Now the Urban Meyer year is.
I got it. But his stats do not match what I think I or many others think of him. The second year was good. I mean, look, they made the run. They won a lot of games, and he was 25 touchdowns and 8 picks, and
they won the playoff game.
They won a playoff game.
They came back against the Chargers, blew that massive lead.
And maybe it's just a matter of time, and then he is going to be one of the best of the best. I mean, for sure, I would commit to him.
What's the option? Who else you getting? Right. He's better than the alternative.
Right. And I still think he has a chance to be.
His backup's Mac Jones.
I always thought he was going to be awesome, but he has not been as good as I thought he was.
No, we played.
That's what I'll say.
We played them last year.
That third season was a disappointment, man.
Dude, you know how much I complained about the Niners defense last year? We played them in Jacksonville last year and beat the crap out of them. Like, he was not. I mean,
It's disappointing.
There's nothing impressive about him. Yeah.
No,
and he will throw picks. He throws picks, man. He will throw it to you.
I thought he was going to be like more like 40 touchdown guy than 21 touchdown, 14 pick guy.
Right.
He has got crazy talent.
Yeah, he does.
And at his best, but I mean, he ain't even put up Herbert numbers.
No, not put up Herbert numbers.
He's won more.
Yeah.
In fairness to him. But I'd still commit to him.
Yeah.
I would still commit to him.
Yeah.
But
of course. I'd give him, I mean, I don't know about the money.
I thought he was going to be better through 3 years than what he's been.
I don't know if you give him that much money, or if that's just what you pay quarterbacks now.
I thought he was a surefire star.
Yeah.
It's possible he's one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the league at some point. You could see it.
If you keep Dak Prescott, you're going to pay him that too.
Just like it seems like they are not interested in doing that.
We are paying Brock Purdy after this year. If Brock Purdy has another awesome season like that, we're paying him, and we're going to pay him more than Trevor Lawrence.
It seems like they're not getting a Dak deal done.
Really? What about CeeDee Lamb? Because my guy Ayuk and your guys, they're in the same boat, same draft class. Neither one of them doing anything in the offseason.
I think they will get CeeDee Lamb done, and then that makes the Dak thing. I mean, look, they lose every single standoff.
Yeah.
They never win. They always end up paying you more. They've done it with Dak every time.
Yeah.
So if they do, I mean, it's like, bro, why do you... They wait for everybody else to sign, then the market gets set even higher, and then it's like, why didn't you just get this done?
Yeah.
They never end up getting a bargain.
Yeah.
They always end up having to pay the absolute most for you.
We're going to do the same thing with Ayuk. We'll pay him by training camp, or he'll miss a week of training camp, like that happened with Bosa, but it'll get done.
All right, well, we're going to have the U.S. Open this weekend. We are going to have, hopefully, at least have an NBA Finals game that's going on tonight. And then everybody out there, enjoy your Father's Day. We will resume regularly scheduled program on Monday. Thanks to John Rose across the glass. Thanks to Gary Parrish. Thanks to Jalen back in the studio. Until Monday, we go.